Um, Glenwood was a nice place to live, but a long way from school. Because I went to Lincoln School, and it was about a mile to walk over to school and walk home. And you didn't get bused in those days. You were lucky if you got there. And that brings me to another thing. My dad worked at Miller Motors, and of course they had a big wrecker called Tugboat Annie. Well, uh, if you had a lot of snow, like a blizzard, and kids had trouble getting to school, I never had to worry because my dad would come and get me in Tugboat Annie and take me to school. The kid that lived 3 blocks away didn't get there, but I always had to go to school. The only good part was the end of the school year, you marched around if you had perfect attendance. Yep, that was me. Also on our block on Front Street, and we were on the corner of Rock and Front in the store. Across the street was the Oleander, it still exists today. Next to us was Finney's Dry Cleaning, and that lady, Mrs. Art Finney, was Lois Mahowald. So, of course, her dad's store was across the street. Next to their building was kind of an egg producer. I think it was Leinard's, it was called. And they candled eggs and did that sort of thing that the farmers would bring in. A couple of single guys, had that business. Used to come in the store and get magazines from us. Grandma kept some of those under the counter because they were a little shady. Was I selling pornographic magazines back then? Maybe, wouldn't dare do that today. Next to that was Antone's Grocery. And then there were a couple other buildings. One was a garage. And on the very end of that block, the 600 block, was Hagen's Grocery. Now that's 3 sort of grocery stores in one spot. Yeah. But if you went in one store and they didn't have what you want, you just ran down the street to another store and they would have it. Well, I can tell you a little bit about going to school. I graduated from Mankato High School, which was in Lincoln School because the high school had burned down. We went to junior high out in Franklin. So the bus took us out there every day, and the bus would bring us back every night. And to kill time on that long bus ride, I remember the whole bus would sing 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99, well, all the way back to Lincoln. And then I still had to walk the mile home. Oh. But I graduated in 1950 with a nice group of kids and didn't know what I was going to do. Somebody from the college, Mankato Teachers College, came to school about a month before I graduated and talked about a 2-year teaching program. And I thought, well, maybe I can go 2 years and get that. And I had to find a part-time job because my grandmother died when I was 17. So I got a job at Woolworth's, worked there summers and during vacation. I also worked at Alpine Attic. That was a youth place above the old YMCA. I helped Mrs. Adams there for 3 years or 4 years. I went 3 summers too because I decided I wanted a 4-year degree. I didn't want to teach little kids. I wanted to teach junior high or high school. And about this time, I got married because my husband was going to Korea. So I kept going to school, and I ended up with the 3rd master's degree that they ever gave out at Mankato State. Okay. Now, I taught public school for 1 year at St. Clair, and then we moved up to the cities when Bob got home from Korea. He wanted to go to Dunwoody. So I ended up teaching 5 years at the Society for the Blind. I always tell people, just go to college and get the degree. You never know what you're going to do. If somebody says, do you think you could do this job? Say, yeah, I'll try. Because you might end up with a real good position. Later on, I worked at a company called Rosemount Incorporated for 25 years, and I was in the personnel department, human resources today. I ended up hiring 3,000 people in that 25 years. So I sure didn't think when I went to college that I would ever have that kind of a job or that kind of opportunity. And I got it because I also had a master's degree. So you'll never be sorry if you go to school. Now, my family, who worked hard in the store, and here's another great picture of the store. That's my great-grandma in front of it. My dad got to 4th grade. My mother, because he went to work in the store, his dad died. And my mother started 9th grade, and then she came from a family of 6, 8 kids and had to go out and go to work. So I think I was one of the first ones in my family, which is an extended family, to finish 4 years of college and actually, end up doing something different.